Hi guys, welcome back to the Midheaven podcast.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is Peace.
And I'm Candace Mary, and welcome to our late night live special Midheaven podcast broadcast. Is that a thing? We live. Look, there we are. So we have the chat up, guys. This episode is actually going to be probably reworked. I don't know what we're going to do, but it's not going to go up until Monday. So you're watching right now. You are watching us actually record the podcast that we do weekly. And you're getting a little bit of I don't know, an extra snippet or something. This is kind of a big deal. We used to do live together all the time, and it's kind of good to be back.
I will never forget the one we did in LA. In your place, actually.
I'm seeing stuff on the chat. People are saying the echo is bad. Hold up. We're working on it. Give us just a second. See if we can.
You got me, Queen.
Yeah, my volume's all the way off.
Julius. I got Stroke.
Everything's off. Hey guys, we see you.
Go.
Hopefully we can get it taken care of.
God to spoke.
I love no, I don't love this. I'm not gonna say I love this. Mercury Square the notes today has been a shit show. Everything's gone haywire, right? Every plan.
Because on the way there were two car accidents within a mile of each other, like back to back.
Oh my goodness. We're making alien sounds. Okay. Let's see. We're trying to figure out what's going on. Give us a second, guys. Mercury Square today, yeah. In Pisces. And Mars. Mars about to hit that. No, baby.
Oh yes.
Everybody's like. Somebody's saying turn off a mic. Let's see if we can.
Mercury is completely controlling. I love it.
I at this point I've given up. Like everything is just haywire. Especially like Mercury in Pisces feels like a retrograde to me. Yeah. Super retrograde. We're working on it, kids. Don't worry. Spoken sounded cool as hell with the echo.
Cosine.
Let's see if we're getting it. We're trying to see where the echo is coming from.
I think the mic.
Everybody's. I feel like I took way too much acid.
I think the mic is
spoken sounded cool as hell with the echo.
Cosine.
Use his mic. Should I turn my mic off? Okay. Some of the stuff people are saying.
Okay, you're saying I think it works now. Okay, we lit. I think
are we good?
Say that's better than before.
Better than before. Try pushing the mic away. I don't want to move the mic too much, but stuff people are saying. Nope, it's still there. Hold on, guys. We're working on it. I don't know. I'm afraid to turn any sound on because I feel like if I turn any sound on, it's just going to blast everybody's face off. Let me see. See if I can find this. Would it be under sound? Is that better? No, that wasn't it. See if I can find this. Would it be under sound? We live, baby. It's there. It's a little bit. Is that better? Let's see. Somebody said this is fucking magical. Thanks, guys. This is what happens when you go live. Things happen. Let's see if I can find this. Would it be under sound? We live, baby. It's there. It's a little bit. Is that better? Let's see. Put the mic in between you. I wonder if I turn this off, if it'll make a difference.
Let's see. I don't think so.
I love how we have all these tech people in the chat right now. God bless you guys. There's like 43 people who are just like they're like makeshift IT people. You guys are my people. Yeah, we're good. Solved. When you backed off, the mic was great. That's better. There it is. Solved. We're good. Yay. Guys, give a lot of... I didn't do anything. I don't know. It must have been something you did. Can you guys give a lot of love to our sound and tech guy, because he's doing awesome. Blake is handling everything. He's the best. Everybody give him a thumbs up, because he has been here trying to fix things for the last 2 hours. So, all right. Okay. So just so you guys know, we're getting ready to start this episode. Once we decide to start filming, we're not going to be interacting in the live chat. If you want to hang out afterwards, we're going to hang out, maybe shoot the shit, read some cards, talk about some stuff. So apologies. We will see what you're saying, but we will not be interacting. All right? Ready?
Oh, yes.
All right. Here we go.
You're not slick. You're not slick. I know what you did.
All right, so we'll go ahead and get started, and we'll do the intro again for the podcast.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Midheaven podcast. This is your host, the Peace Dealer.
And I'm Candice Marie, and we are back.
In action.
We're back in action. It has been a total shit show getting this episode going, but that's what happens when Mercury squares the nodes. You got to just roll with those punches. How are you doing? You're like Mr. Mercury King. The other, like, was it last week that you were like, yeah, Mercury, how's he treating you now?
I don't know. You think you're cool with Mercury, like, oh, I'm a Gemini. Mercury's not gonna mess with me. And the next thing you know, you're stranded waiting for a lift because the Lyft driver wants you to cancel. And so it says 10 minutes for 45 minutes and you're out there in the cold. So, Mercury has been, I feel like Mercury just plays pranks on me. And on everyone, really, but it's just like a personalized experience where just certain things happen. It's like you MFer, like there's no way this is a coincidence, like, and then you start to meditate, like, is there a lesson teaching this to me right now? And the whole time Mercury's like, no, bitch, I'm totally pranking you.
Sounds like you need to go home and give an offering to Mercury. Have you done that?
You know what? I don't give offerings. Maybe they're wanting my attention.
Okay, so here's what I do, whether you guys are having a really gnarly Mercury transit or if it's a Mercury retrograde. I'll put out a shot of whiskey, some chocolate, a couple of oranges, maybe a couple coins, tobacco, and any incense or any herbs that are associated with Mercury. I'll like... Yeah, or Eligua. Yeah. Nice. All right. I was going through my closet the other day, and I was getting all excited about the Daishiki episode, because that's definitely coming. Like, we're going to do that. We're going to do the full African garb, and we're going to exchange heritage stories about the roots of our...
accent. It'll be perfect.
Can you do a Nigerian prince accent? Like this, like the Scam Princess?
I mean, if you will give me your debit card number, I will give you millions of dollars. I'm not a scam artist. There's no 419. This is very legit.
Are you sure you're not just trying to get papers from me?
No.
All right. I'm just making sure, because I can't have any more of that going on in my life.
That's in the 90s. Where
I'm too expensive for that. You can't afford me. You really can't afford me. I'm a very expensive wife.
I mean, I have millions in my Nigerian castle back home. I just need your debit card and we can process.
All right, process. Great, process.
That's gonna be a funny episode. I can't wait.
I'm excited to talk about all of our crazy spiritual experiences that have to do with our heritage. I named this episode. What is it? What did I name it? I named it something. I put it on the stream, but whatever. I think it's called Mission to Mars, if I remember correctly, because there's just a lot of like cool Mars aspects that we'll get into at the end of the podcast. Starting with kind of some of the interesting tidbits in the news for the week. Number one, I think it's super cool. I was reading this in the news. See if I can pull this up here. But NASA is actually in the process of testing a rocket to put the first woman and the next man on the moon. So they're testing this rocket. Hopefully they are going to launch somewhere in 2024. So it's a couple years away. I'm stoked for that. For some reason, I feel like I should have known this. And I don't know if it's because I was watching that show on, is it Apple? Is it the show about the astronauts from the 70s? I thought a woman had already been on the moon. I guess this is news to me.
If a woman was we're about to have a woman be the first person on the moon. Oh.
No, the first woman. So there's been 12 men in general that have walked the moon, but the moon landings.
Not just Armstrong or
no, there were several. And
do they still have the technology to get there?
I would assume so. I hope so. I think that's why they're testing the rocket, is to make sure they don't blow people up.
Yeah. Could you imagine if it was filmed? That'd be crazy.
I mean, I am excited to see a woman on the moon. I'm really stoked for that. And I'm also, I think
she wouldn't be the first one.
She would be the first woman to walk on the moon.
Imagine if the moon starts to get an attitude like, oh, finally, someone who I can vent to. All these men coming on the moon here.
I mean, it's crazy. I didn't even know that they were still trying to push getting people back to the moon, but I guess they are, and they are trying to get there in a couple of years. But yeah, most of the
project they're doing, like this one guy, he's I applied for it too. He's looking for like 6 people to take to the moon with him, or like 3 people
to go to the moon.
You never heard of this?
Put a pin in this because I want to tell you about my Mars story, because we're going to talk about this at the end, about how NASA, I applied to go to Mars and you did not take me. All right, and I'm still not
NASA,
happy about it.
You need astrologers on your team. What do you like? Stop telling people there's 13 signs. You have no astrologers. You've never read a chart. What's that? That's like me on this podcast telling people, astrophysics and NASA information. That was super vague, but
I was thinking to myself, I was like, how the hell have they not had a moon landing since the 1969 1972? So what the fuck has NASA been doing this entire time? I mean, I know there was they took the cameras and Juno and everything, and they went out to the solar system and they saw the other planets, but what have they been doing?
Spending trillions of taxpayer money. I mean, discovering the frontiers for mankind and showing us their CG. I mean, the views of what's out there.
Okay, so wait a second. Hold on. Do you think that the moon landing was fake? I talk about this all the time, by the way. If you don't know me personally, I'm a nutbag about this stuff.
I'm a naive. I believe the world is round, and I believe that the moon landing was real. But then the one thing that makes me iffy is the whole Stanley Kubrick.
How about when you zoom in and you look at the reflections on their fucking helmets? I'm telling you, that was a stage. And I'm not saying we can't get to the moon.
Someone said
I'm not saying we haven't been to the moon
anymore to get there, and that's when I was like, wait.
But they're trying to get us to Mars.
How do you not have the technology to get to the moon, but you've been to the moon before? But then you just said that there's plenty of people who've been to the moon, though.
Yeah, 12 men, 12. Not women, men. We haven't had lady parts on the moon yet, but we're getting there. We're going to find the technology. We're going to make it happen. The moon just needs to feel a vagina. Wouldn't you think that the moon... Don't you think that the moon... Like, yes. The moon's a feminine planet. Like, you need pussy on that planet.
Facts.
Sorry, I went there. This is a late night show. This is not for children.
What if the moon needs someone to have sex on the planet to contact?
Who's going to be the first person to have sex on the moon?
This is for science.
This is science. I think about these things all the time.
You need to give the moon love and experience.
I'm so excited to get into the beef of the show because
who do you think the first sign would be to do that? Sagittarius? Cancer?
You think it'd be Cancer?
I think it'd be Sag. I don't know.
I think it would be Sag, or I think that there would be some freaky Geminis. Yeah. Because I could see how a Gemini could certainly settle for bases and not a home run. I mean, technically that's sex on the moon, so right. I'm gonna go there. Right. Oh my God, everybody's gonna think we're nuts. So NASA's doing this test. Hopefully there's more from that. 2. Major Biden is back in the White House. Did you hear about this? About how, so supposedly, and they never came out and said that Biden's dog bit somebody, but they just said, well, his rescue dog, who's I think a German Shepherd, apparently had an incident with somebody at the White House and was removed and was taken to go back to his home for training in Delaware.
Major?
His name's Major.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
They have Major and Champ, and they were both adopted dogs. So apparently there was an incident. We don't know what happened, but he had to go back to Delaware for training, and now the dog is back in the White House.
The dog went for training.
Yeah, because he clearly bit somebody who worked at the White House. They didn't come out and say that he bit somebody, but like, come on.
That's not fair to the dog. There's so many slimy people in the White House. Like, what if he was right? Where are the dog rights?
Well, and that's what I think Biden came out and said. He was like, well, he's an adopted dog. He's like, and there's all these like weird guys in black coats and walkie-talkies walking around because security's like hardcore in the White House. And he was just like, what do you expect? So I think the dogs are going to go back and forth. That's not like super exciting news, but I thought that was interesting. Touching on some stuff we talked about in a recent podcast. Also, another thing that I brought up is Trump teasing having his own media platform. Did you hear about this?
I thought Gab was his platform, but I did hear about it. And guys, prepare for the storm, because this is Uranus square Saturn. Like this is a continuing narrative of what happened before. I think the timing of it is just like genius, but this is going to be a wild summer.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm kind of wondering to see what's going to happen. Like when we talked about in the previous episode, some of the retrograde stuff that's going to happen in Gemini, and then the eclipses, it's like all on his personal planets. Like Trump's coming out with something, but I think it's funny that he was like teasing it, because I kind of wonder, after what happened with like Parler and a couple other things, is it going to work?
Parler's back.
Who saved Parler? Somebody came and like saved Parler is what I heard. I don't know what the deal was, but I saw something about like either another company playing a role in getting them out or something. I don't know, but yeah, I'm not even sure.
The thing with this though is the whole notion, Saturn in Aquarius is the collective narrative, which is the authoritarian mainstream group, and then you have Uranus and Taurus, that's like the individual, independent, manifestation. And so you're gonna have the short skirmishes of new sites come out, spearheaded by, and I just love that Donald Trump has Uranus on his sun, and so we can actually track Uranus's transit to like what happens with them. And my prediction is we're going to see these get stomped and censored by Saturn, but then they'll continue to come back up and then eventually stick.
Well, the squares are going to happen a couple times. So, one of the squares already happened back in February. There's another one coming in June. And then we've got another one that's going to be happening around Christmas. So obviously, like we talked about this, and we'll talk about it as we get closer, but June is a hot month. That is a very end of May, even going into June. It's going to be really kind of crazy. So I'm kind of like wondering, if the first square was like all the Robin Hood stuff that happened, the second square I feel is going to be like kind of like Saturn laying down the law and trying to keep certain physical Taurus things manifesting and getting kind of chaotic. So it's gonna see it's gonna get colorful. That's for sure. I don't know. That, and going back to the other topic that I was talking about, so we can get back into talking about the planet stuff, because we'll probably go on and on about this. So I was thinking the other day, and this was like one of my really like stone deep thoughts. Okay. Okay. So I started thinking, because Elon Musk is trying to get people obviously to Mars, and like there's this whole race to Mars.
Elon
and like
Musk is an alien.
Have you heard about his recent stuff about how he came and like changed his title like from CEO to like, I don't know what it is, it's like Coin King or something like that. Crypto King. Yeah, like he's trying to change his titles, and he's basically just doing anything and everything possible to like piss off whoever is out there patrolling these large companies.
I thought he was a Capricorn, but he's a Cancer.
FCC. He's a Cancer?
And so I thought that was dope. Like him and Bezos are going back and forth for number one, Cancer versus Capricorn.
Who do you think it's going to be, though? Who do you think it's going to be that's going to like, because, Bezos kind of stepped down because he's putting so much focus and emphasis also on all the space stuff.
I didn't know he was interested in space.
All those billionaires are. They're trying. I'm convinced
they need somewhere to escape.
Yeah, it's like they know something. They know something. They know. It's like they've spent the last 10 years doing nothing but build their bunkers, and it's like now all the scientists are like, we're gonna run out of air. We're not going to have enough food. We're not going to have enough resources. So they're like fucking opening their wallets going, guess we're going to Mars, kids.
Is this the apocalypse?
I have a feeling there's already camps on Mars. I think we're all being...
My friend Astro projected there and said that there were not only camps, but then some soldier told her to go back, and she got ejected back. And even though I thought she was crazy, I also thought she was telling the truth, because she be on point with her channeling.
I don't know. Elon must know something, because just with some of the stuff that he's doing, like trolling people, and like now you can buy a Tesla with like Bitcoin, and they must see the value of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency and where all of this stuff is going to start saying like, hey, you can buy a car this way. I mean, I was at my acupuncturist office today and there was a sign that said, we accept Bitcoin.
I think my friend bought a Lamborghini or a Lamborghini coin with Ethereum, and he had like
a Lamborghini coin.
If it wasn't a Lamborghini,
like an actual car,
I don't think it was a car, because he got like some kind of badge. So I think he converted his Ethereum with their stock, or he got a car. But I think he got stock, and then they gifted him some like badge or something. Huh.
I've been deep in that. I've been doing that with my man. We've got like a crypto wallet. We're focusing on watching when Ethereum and Bitcoin drops. We'll buy some stuff, and we're working with like Gemini, because you can hold it. You know who made that, right? It's the twins from Facebook, and it's like a holdings.
They're from Facebook?
Yeah, they're the guys who like sued Zuckerberg over like stealing the Facebook idea. The Winklevoss twins.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's like I'm so great, because I want to convert my money to Gemini coins. So like I have Mercury on my rocket.
Okay, they have all kinds of cool stuff. The way that it's working, and it works, I think I don't think it's with Coinbase or something, but basically you can go and hold your cryptocurrency. So like we hold Ethereum and Bitcoin, and it'll pay you a percentage, and it's a pretty decent interest. It's BlockFi. Yeah, we're working with BlockFi.
Okay.
Yeah, so
on their Gemini app, they have like the interest.
We'll see. I'll show you how it works with the ones that we have. But if you're using it just to hold it, like if you're one of those people who's convinced that this is going to be the new currency, I think it is. And you're not really trading it, you're just holding it. It's cool because you can put it in this account and just let it sit there, and it's going to make interest percent in cryptocurrency. So you can get the interest in Bitcoin. You can get the interest in, what's the other one? Ethereum.
That's what I'm doing for both of them.
Yeah, so it's like, that's my yacht fund, kids.
I have my second house in Gemini, and I have Mercury on my rising, so I'm gonna rock Hermes and just spend Gemini coins.
Are you into like fancy like watches and jewelry and shit with that second house stuff?
I'm gonna make fancy exclusive designer Astro watches.
You should, because you have a Cap Moon, and you can make them like out of like all kinds of.
They'll be high end, so. It'll be like diamonds and crystals.
Of course, and rubies and garnets and all that other cap stuff.
And then also an app too, where it can kind of work like a Fitbit. So if you don't want the fancy stuff, it could be like a. I'm surprised no one has done this already. I mean, the only thing
I'm kind of stoked for it, because in my mind, it's like I've gotten to this point where I'm like, okay, I can go and blow $2,000 on going on a nice weekend, or I can buy myself a really nice bag. But why would I do that when I could hopefully stick it in my crypto wallet, and within 10 years I'm gonna have $1 billion. So that's the plan. Probably not that much, but we'll see.
I mean, if you knew 10 years, you know how worth it is it to invest for 10 years? And I mean, that's what Uranus and Taurus wants to teach people, the long game. Like,
well, and it's shaking up currency, because when we look at the last time it went through, like I think it was in the 40s or something when it went through Taurus.
It was like the Great Depression.
Yeah, we also saw that there was just like a lot of different coins in circulation, and that's also when we brought in bonds, and people could buy bonds. So there was like a lot of weird incentives when it came to like currency and money, and like a lot of like changes. So I think, I think that's something that's kind of exciting. It also makes me wonder, you know, I saw a thing on the internet the other day and I saw all of the different British bills, like all the pounds throughout the years with all of the different versions of the Queen. Well, she's Sun in Taurus. We talked about that in the last episode. And just looking at, you know, Uranus going through Taurus and making squares to Saturn, I wonder, well, what's going to happen to these bills when, God save the Queen, but when that inevitably does happen, are we going to put like the prince on there? Like, who's going to be on there?
That's fascinating.
Yeah, like, yeah, I can't understand how they're constantly like changing money. Like, to me, that's cool, but it's also like kind of weird because we're so used to seeing the same thing. I mean, most of what we've seen is like what, the new $20 bills and the new hundreds. I can't think of anything other than that.
Which is also wild. Ours doesn't change, yeah. And it's the same person, right? Just different, like...
Yeah, like it's her throughout the years. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. I think that... I think it'll be interesting to see. It's definitely like by the time, you know, Uranus is out of Taurus, like I think we are going to totally be in a situation where we're inching our way even more so towards a global currency, whether it's crypto or what it ends up being.
It'll be unofficial before it's official, for sure.
For sure.
And I think our generation is going to witness the end of, even though they're a constitutional monarchy, I think we're going to witness the end of like monarchy. Well,
yeah, I mean, that's definitely coming, but I mean, some of those people are probably still going to do what's ever possible to stay. Yeah, like kind of stay. I mean, because they're making money just from being these figures. I mean, they're not really doing anything. They're making money.
They've already finessed us the past 30 years and made all the money they need to off of us.
I don't know. We're not as like fixated and obsessed with that stuff as much as like the rest of the world. I mean, I like watching the royal weddings, but that's about it. But we don't really have that, especially coming out of like, you know, the last, 8 years of having just a terrorist in office. I'm sorry. I know how you feel about your boy.
8 years? I thought he was in for 4.
Oh yeah, he was in for 4. See, okay, maybe it was 8 years.
Because maybe he's still president.
Do you really think that?
I mean, he's not officially president, but here's the thing. He has an office of former president, and negative Nancy Pelosi failed to indict this man, and so technically he's still president. He's not the current president. He's just former president, and so you know.
God damn.
You know,
I'm waiting for his like insane, like crazy hostile takeover that's coming, like the Mad King in June. I'm ready for it.
Did you tell me? I think you're the one who launched it. He wrote that letter who's like, hey, just in case y'all forgot, I'm the reason why y'all have vaccines. Like, if it wasn't for the Dom, y'all would still be waiting for that was so gangster. I was like, why is he gone? Why is he gone? Oh, wow.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so back to my deep pot thoughts. Are you ready for this? So I was thinking astrology works because it's about our perspective, right? Here from Earth and how the planets affect souls on Earth. So if we go and colonize Mars, what happens?
Well, I love that you said that because a lot of things critics say is that and that's what I appreciate about you, Candace, because you really bring the intuitive soul to it, where that's hard for people to kind of accept because a lot of people will really flex and say, oh, the planets don't affect your personality, and that's a really misleading way to that skeptics kind of understand how this works. The planets, of course, mathematically engage with each other as far as the ecliptic of the sun, the path, and then the sun's the Earth's equator. So it's a literal narrative with the relationship of the planets and the sun, and those angles tell us a story. You know, oppositions versus sextiles. So if we did colonize Mars, then we would have horoscopes with Earth in a sign.
Right. Okay. So hear me out on this. So you can look at your horoscope, like when you're looking at transits and you look at how the moon is affecting things or how Mercury's fucking things up today, obviously. and how that's affecting us here on Earth. You know, you can look at the helio chart and you can see everything that's going on more so from Earth.
Sun.
From
Earth.
Oh no, you're right, from the sun.
And then you
from the sun's perspective, yeah. Okay. And then you see how all the planets move. So let's say we do end up living in Mars, whatever. So we end up living there. Does that mean that does it affect Mars? Like, does it affect the power of Mars when you think about that? Because here on Earth, Mars touches with the North Node. We're going to get into that in a second. It brings a lot of Martian energy in. But if you're living on Mars and that's happening, are you looking for really strong Earth transits? How does that make sense what I'm asking you?
No, it makes perfect sense. If you're on Mars, you're going to live the Martian energy every day, and the Earth energy will ground you. But that would be so cool, like experiencing Earth transits. I know on Earth, the Earth sign is the opposite of the sun sign.
Right. And not a lot of people realize that. And people are like, wait, it doesn't make sense. But okay, here's an example, kids. When it's Christmas time and we're in Saturn's territory and it is Capricorn time, the sun is in Capricorn, but the Earth is actually in Cancer. Right. So Capricorn is like, you know, legacy, work, getting things done. And when I think of like the end of the year, we're not doing that. Even if you're at work, you're like fucking off, like, you know, sending text messages, like watching YouTube videos, like calling in sick, not showing up, whatever. That's not very Capricorn-like. But that's because the sun is in Cancer. Right? Excuse me. No. The Earth is in Cancer. I'm already screwing this up. The Earth is in Cancer. So when you think about, okay, what is Cancer? Well, you spend the holidays at home baking cookies, hanging out with your family, eating, taking naps, whatever. It's pretty Cancerian.
That's wild.
But not a lot of people think about things like that. I think the only time that we really seriously take the sun into consideration with the moon is when we see either a new moon or a full moon. Yeah. Right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I guess really what I'm getting at is if we do end up colonizing Mars and living on Mars, does Earth become this very separate energy that we bring in? Does Mars still play a role? Because when I think of Earth, I think of like what physically manifests. Like we have a lot of life, we have a lot of growth, we have a lot of Earth element. Natural. So if we're living on Mars, is it going to be that really intense Martian energy all the time? Like the mythology says, the thousands of years of war? Are we just aggro all the time? I would imagine that's like my life with my moon in Aries.
Right, the Aries will definitely be.
Like every day is like living on Mars. Yeah. Ask anybody who deals with me on a regular basis.
The Aries will be like, yes, I love it here. Ah. But I mean, I don't know why well, you said colonize, so that's the key word. But I can imagine it's, I guess, colder than Earth because it's farther away from the sun.
Colder, definitely colder, but I don't know. I feel like it would be weird not having that. Like I kind of think about abstract things and like how astrology works for our universe or our solar system specifically within the universe, but obviously it's not going to work for other life forms in other places. Right.
Venus is like, colonize me. You're too hot, honey.
Wouldn't that be nice? Can you imagine what it would be like on Venus?
Mai tais for everybody.
It would just be like Mai tais, tits out, and like great aesthetics, beautiful collarbones and cheekbones, and I don't know. I have a lot of like Venus aspects in my chart, not just aspects, but also like Venus energy.
She rules my chart.
Yeah, that's right. And she opposes Pluto.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so that's. You've been to hell and back with that one, huh?
I mean, I had someone offer to, her words, not mine, suck and bloop me. She was being very, I'm grateful too, because I just made a skit about being sex zoned and I got sex zoned.
Wow. Well, I mean, you're putting it out there.
Yeah.
Is this where we like put your phone number on the bottom where it's like, call him now for your free reading?
Well, you know what? That's crazy. I don't know how she got my number.
Wait, what?
I don't know how she got That's what I'm saying. Like, she texted me. I'm like, who is this? Just someone who cares about you. Was like, well, can
oh my God, at least you got that text.
Right.
At least you got that text.
Right, that's true.
I don't get those texts.
And then she texts my other phone from another number. I'm like, how
okay,
did you get this one? And in that text, she's like, I hope you don't think I'm a stalker. And it's like, I don't want to, but like, how'd you get
okay, I can't tell you how many times when somebody says that.
Yeah.
It's the Venus-Pluto aspects that you have. You're just bringing them all in. Okay, so building on that whole, okay, what would life be like on Mars? Right now, Mars is conjunct the North Node in Gemini, and it is going to be conjuncting, I believe, tomorrow. What's going on here? Let's look at this. Yeah, right? Tomorrow. So it'll be tomorrow. Yesterday, today, tomorrow. There's a lot going on. You want to break down maybe how this or why this is important? I talked about it a little bit on my live yesterday, but I really want to hear. I want to hear your interpretation of that, because you're a Gemini. It's time to just say it, just to come out with it.
We are unlocking our true power, ladies and gentlemen, and I mean, I think it's fascinating that the moon's going to be in Virgo when this is happening, so we get the real time.
And it's a void moon.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. Are you sure it's not trining?
No, it's void. I think it's void up until, I'll have to get the time, but I know it's supposed to be void.
Oh, word. It's going to be trining Uranus in the beginning at least, and then it's going to later trine Pluto after. So yeah, it'll definitely be void. Perhaps like in the middle, or we'll see, but this is gonna ground the real supernatural, because of its opposition to Neptune, experience of unlocking true power, especially your experience with synchronicities that have been converging and just been more and more crazy, both good and bad. So I think that's amazing that's literally tomorrow, because this experience is going to unfold, and then we're going to have the full moon in Libra, and you're going to move forward applying your true power.
I mean,
during Aries season, where you know who you are.
One thing that I would say is, like, when I think of the North Node, I think of Dharma, and I think of like where we're going. So in a way, whatever's happening today, tomorrow, especially with this conjunction, it's playing a role in your future, because the future is abstract, at least from my perspective. The future is not completely set in stone. Many times the future is going to be dependent on what you have been working on from the past and what you're consciously choosing to do now. So the future is fluid, and there's many different variations, especially with the North Node in Gemini.
What is Dharma?
Dharma, the opposite of karma. It's what we come to achieve. So when you think of like the South Node is where you've been, and what is familiar, or what's easy, or what's comfortable, or what you've done before, or what you fall back into. The North Node is like oftentimes what your soul signed up for, that is totally terrifying. You need to learn how to participate in, or kind of bring into your life in this incarnation. So Dharma is what we're here to achieve, basically. Well so said. Many of these things, I think, that are taking off, especially right around now. Whatever's happening now is going to kind of play out more so when the sun goes into Gemini, when we have the eclipse that's coming in Gemini, and then also when Mercury goes retrograde and touches with the sun during that eclipse. So it's not like something that you want to chill and wait to utilize, because Mars does not wait, especially in Gemini. Mars is now. And
opportunities will arise once again.
Right.
Just so really unfolding.
And
intensely.
Gemini being like conversations, contracts, text messages, emails.
The actions that you take on this day will define the rest of your life. And it's going to be tricky with the squares, because it's like there's what you think is right to do, which will be acceptable. And then there's what is true to you, which might be controversial. And that's going to screw a lot of people up, because it's like, well, I've been told I'm supposed to do this, but the North Node wants you to do you.
Well, yeah. And it's kind of like, it's funky, because Mars conjunct the North Node, it has a very Aries feel, and the sun is in Aries, so it's supporting it. But Mercury, okay, is squaring Mars. So there's a lot of like, is it this or is it that? And like Mercury in Pisces is more about, intuition. It's less about communication. So in a way, I personally believe many people are coming to like this fork in the road at the end of May, beginning of June. And I've looked at the retrograde, and I've looked at the eclipse and how it comes back. And it actually, Mercury will go retrograde in conjunct with the sun. So I think more information about the next leg of the journey or the next leg of wherever we're going will come up at that time.
Oh my God. And the sun is conjunct Venus too. So romantically, some people are very confused with the Mercury square Mars, because it's like you see signs and synchronicities and real time, forward movement with one person, but then you might see it for another person, single or taken, as far as like feeling different facets of your partner in a relationship, or if you're single, different potential with other people, and that can confuse people, like who is it, and what the energy wants to teach you is what is the truth and energy that you're seeing in these multiple people, because you don't want to focus on the people, you want to focus on the vibe that is reflecting to you. And I hope that really helps, because it could be really easy with these squares too to get caught up on who is it, what is it, even outside of romance, and just instead focusing on the common energy that's attracting you to that, and then letting that bring that person really, well, not that they have to attract that person, but letting that help you focus.
I'm wondering, like, just looking at some of the transits, that's the 27th, 28th, 29th. Yeah, I mean, the Sun and Venus are moving together pretty much until the beginning of next month. So, like, this kind of Sun, Venus, Kazemi thing that's kind of happening.
That's amazing.
I mean, it's all about self-love and
the Four of Wands,
becoming more aware of, like, the self, the ego, the personal joy, and how when you're in tune to that, it actually works in, and it harmonizes with Saturn, and it harmonizes also with Mars in the North Node. So I think from a physical standpoint, lots of car accidents. I've seen lots of accidents, lots of weird road constructions, all kinds of weird technological glitches.
On the way here, there was 2 accidents that were like literally less than half a mile away from each other. And the driver was like, that was weird. Like,
I saw 3 while I was driving today. One that involved like 5 cars, and they were like moving all of the traffic over. Yeah.
Oh my God.
So I didn't even really want to be on the road today, because I was like, ah.
The last time I moved everything, I got in a car accident. So this time, and it was but I had also gotten food at that time too. So I was driving the U-Haul back to the store, and I got some Jack in the Box. And like, if I get in a car accident this time, I'm like, holy crap. The Jack in the Box gods were protecting you. Oh yes, and there was a fire sandwich too. Was it chicken sandwich? It was the quad. I saw the chicken sandwich, but I got the quad bacon whatever. I'm such a fat ass. Like, I don't eat fast food anymore, but I definitely want to hear everybody talk about their fast food meals. Shit, because I've said for so long, oh my God, I'm gonna eat healthy, and I'm talking about I ate Jack in the Box. I'm eating healthy, y'all. I had a cheat meal because my belly is coming out too. Everyone's telling me you're getting fat, Mike. Listen, hey, we don't fat shame on this channel, okay? I am building this so that I have more love to give. We don't fat shame. No, it's just the Venusian stuff. It's okay. Yes. You got it, babe. I'm gonna blame it on you. Thank you. Yeah. Well, us plus size girls, we gotta stick together. So. yes, bitch. Yeah. Whatever. Uranus and Taurus, like, fat is so in right now. I always joke. I'm like, if I was around, like in the Venetian times where they have all those like thick, like, white women, they're all naked eating grapes, getting painted, like, I would have been a fucking goddess. Someone showed me a meme saying that in some African tribes, the one with the biggest belly is the king. So they're like, see, you're just in the wrong era. I'm like, yeah, it's King Negus right here. Negus, whatever. I'm kind of okay with it. You gotta have a little weight to ground you, baby. Otherwise, you're gonna be one of those airy fairy psychics that just fucking blasts off into the ethers. You trying to hug a bunch of rocks? You want this cuddly chubby bear. Like, let's just be real. Somebody's gotta keep you motherfuckers warm at night. Trying to have That's all I'm gonna light say. A fire because you're cuddling. Right there. You go. Try cuddling with a stick. I hope they can move and shake like this. Light your bed on fire. Oh my God, I'm just waiting for it. Yeah, so I think the message of Mars conjunct the North Node is now. You gotta go now. And you're ready. You're wearing your red Planet 13. Hi, we're trying to get sponsored. Please send us free weed. We love your stores. We love you. What was that? I had some asada fries. I had your chicken and waffles. Y'all.
I haven't even had the food there yet. You know
Their
who has?
food is good.
You know who has really good chicken and waffles? The Hash House A Go Go.
Oh.
They have chicken and waffle tower. So it's like a tower of waffles, and it's got like rosemary on top and all this fried chicken. So when I lived in LA, I would go to San Diego quite frequently and would go down there sometimes just to hang out and go to the beach and the bars and eat chicken and waffles.
That's like 4 hours, right?
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. I will go to no
San
distance.
Diego is nice,
there's no too far for a good meal.
That's like from Vegas to Cali. It's a day trip.
Well, you got to do what you got to do. Some people drive to Vegas for slots and hookers, and I drive to San Diego for chicken and waffles. I'm surprised you're getting this recommendation from a white woman. That's quite funny.
That's been quite the theme. That's very interesting. But I mean, chicken and waffles, I'm getting it. San Diego, I'm coming for you. Watch, y'all don't even know about
But they have it here, though. Hash House A Go Go is here. That's what I was saying. Yeah. They have a couple locations here. We should go. We should do that.
Do like a mukbang or something like that.
Oh my God. You do not want to see me stuff my face with chicken and waffles live on video, because part of me is like, no, I could never do that. And the other part of me is like, let's go. Yeah. Okay. We might have to do that, actually. I was like thinking and kind of like working through all of this idea, all these different ideas in my mind about what else we could do. And I was kind of thinking how you were talking about all of the like African stuff and like the Orishas and like the Ifa. So I'm in the process of trying to find somebody who can give us an Ifa reading.
Oh my
like
God.
You and I will both get a reading.
Oh my God.
And then we'll put it on the podcast.
The last time I got an Ifa reading, he got the cowrie shells. He had the paper. He didn't even say it in English. My friend had to translate from Spanish to tell me.
Oh, so he was like a Cuban one.
He was Cuban.
Yeah, he was like a babalao.
He was a babalao, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He was his padrino. And dude was telling me all sorts. He actually told me that I was gonna be a successful astrologer. He didn't know I do astrology. He's like, oh yeah, I see you're doing something that mixes well with Ifa. He knew my mom was a doctor. I didn't tell her that. I didn't tell him that. So like them Ifa reading. He said also Ifa is my path because it's in my name, Ifeanyi. So I just never really found like
that's the Mano de la Rula.
Exactly. Right? He had the Mano de la Rula, right?
Yep.
I just never found a babalao to like walk the path with, but I think that's my path. Like
I got you. I know somebody. I have somebody in like every like little spiritual zone. Like I'm somebody who just kind of goes in and dances and makes friends, and I have people who
the hoodoo guys
who do that, and I have people who a lot of things I probably will wait to disclose until we have the podcast, but
because it's hard to find people who don't just want your money and like kind of drag you along. So I'm just wanting to find that, but I think I'm ready now. So
I think we should do a reading, because I haven't had an Ifa reading in probably like 3 or 4 years, and the ones that I have had were like scary accurate. Now it's been like 3 or 4 years, and I have questions.
I got initiated in Palo Mayombe in Puerto Rico 2012, but I've never gotten my Elegua. I've never gotten anything. Like I feel like I'm abandoned or stranded, but I know that's a part of my path.
Yeah.
And I know that the Orisha still walk with me. So I mean, thank you, because I'm super excited now. I feel like I'm about to really kick this off. And what I want to say about the Mars North Node, too, about all this is with Aries, everything you're doing right now is like starting. Imagine if you started Disney before you knew it was going to be Disney. Like, imagine Disney before he knew Disney would be one of the biggest companies. It's like you're starting it right now. You may not realize that it's,
right,
not the next big thing, but like the most legendary aspect, or just, something you really love doing. So you definitely want to keep that attitude that what you're embarking on is
so interesting, because I was like thinking about, because sometimes I'll go through my calendar and I'll put like notes about astrology things and things that are happening, and just in the back of my mind thinking about some of the things that I'm actually supposed to be doing, like tomorrow, Saturday, Sunday. Like there's definitely some stuff that I probably should put on the agenda to like actually like really make sure that I'm doing it,
Mm-hmm.
Especially because I'm in a Mars annual perfection year, so
right.
It seems to be pretty important for me.
And I mean, like, this energy is so exciting. I'm not gonna lie. Like, there's a bunch of bullshit behind the scenes, but I feel like this excitement is just so individual. Like, we get to make it what we want to, and nothing can take that. So, at one level, there's like, because Venus will sextile Jupiter, and at one level, it's like, make it count. But at another level, you have to forget you've completed. You have to forget. That's hilarious. You have to remember that you've completed an 11-year cycle since Jupiter in Aries, and you're literally reaping and manifesting that all week, all year, really.
How do you figure the Jupiter in Aries relates to the Mars? Because it's the North Node?
Jupiter Aries?
Yeah, you said Jupiter Aries.
Yeah, okay, so Jupiter, before it went to Aries, was conjunct Uranus and Pisces, and then it went into Aries.
That's right. I remember that. Okay.
Right.
So it's completing the cycle.
Exactly.
So,
which is like, wow.
So people who have personal placements in Gemini and Aries would then feel it stronger, or who have a Mars ruled chart.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Huh.
Oh, yeah.
Huh.
I mean, the synchronicities have been insane.
Well, there's been, if everything feels very, very rushed to me.
Yeah,
like everything has felt very rushed. Like it's like, we gotta go now. And I feel like the discombobulation of Mercury is like kind of getting your sea legs for some things, and kind of just like, okay, it's like the universe's way of saying, okay, fuck it, we're going live. Maybe there's gonna be some hiccups, but, but we still have to do it because it's part of whatever we need to be doing in June.
Oh my God, like I love that you said June is gonna be, because like last June was crazy, and so this June is just going to bring back all those pent-up emotions. And I think whereas last time it was more, you know, everyone was shocked. No one really knew what to expect. I think everyone's going to be ready. Like, it's still going to be shocking, but like, I think it's going to be so exciting this time in like the craziest pandemonium ways.
Well, yeah, like, Mars conjunct the North Node isn't just all, I mean, it's not all rainbows and fucking butterflies. Like, it's not, you know, I think that, yes, it's coming into a square with Neptune. It's war, it's volatility, it's fighting, and in Gemini it's fighting with words, fighting with keyboards. It can be fighting with your fist, sure, your hands, because it's Gemini, but I think a lot of people are going to realize that your words are super powerful right now. So when Mars is touching with the North Node, it's really important to really be careful what you say and practice what you preach, and realize that you have to walk the walk and talk the talk. You can't just be full of shit. You have to show up and you have to do it, because now is the time.
No, that's the best. Like, I mean, personally, I feel more in my purpose than ever. And it's that feeling like, wow, I've been wanting this for so long. And now it's like, we're in this position. That
North Node in your first house high right now. Yeah. Get out of here. Get out of here.
And Saturn on my North Node. Like, it's
yeah.
time.
Well, what degree is your North Node?
8 degrees.
Okay, so mine's 21. So Jupiter is hovering there. Yeah, I have Saturn and Jupiter in my 5th house right now.
Oh my God, you have Jupiter and your Saturn. Oh, you have Jupiter and your North Node. Oh my God.
Jupiter's on my North Node right now.
Wow.
Yeah, right now. Well, it's been like the last 2 or 3 days, and like there's been some very interesting things that have happened.
Word.
Not all of the 5th house things have happened, but
in your 5th,
we'll see.
Right. That to me is like not even a ticking time bomb.
But it's weird because it's Aquarius in the 5th house, right? Because when you think the 5th house, it's like me, but Aquarius is like, it actually involves like a lot of other people.
Right.
And my North Node's at 21, so I have a little bit of time before Saturn shows up next year, and then it's gonna start squaring all of my fucking Scorpio, and I'm gonna be a puddle of mush.
Well, I don't know if it's because my moon's in Capricorn, but Saturn on my North Node has been very, very good to me.
Really? At an 8.
Oh yeah.
So you're getting laid, huh? I said it, not him.
I love how I look to the left and I see the word female.
I'm just saying.
What's female? That's amazing.
That's a fun degree.
Right. I mean,
and it's also like it's playing with your Mars. It's playing with your. I mean, your Pluto and your Venus. It's at T-square. So it's making things happen. The fact that you're not even feeling that is like amazing to me. Like that makes me have hope for the future.
But I see it might be because my moon's in Cap and Saturn just kind of like.
Oh yeah, Saturn and Pluto have been there just whipping you for years.
Pluto has been raping me. I don't know how else to put it.
No, I get it. I totally get it. I've had Pluto touch every single one of my personal planets, literally by a conjunction, like my whole life. Like I just recently got Pluto off my back. It's conjunct my Sun. It's conjunct my Mercury. It hit my Uranus, my Venus, my Saturn, my Neptune. This whole last year it was squaring my moon, and I'm like, please let it be over. Like, I'm done. Like, please. I think Saturn on my North Node is going to be good to me next year, but just some of the things that's going to come with that in the 5th house, I'm like...
Plus, at 21 degrees, too, it's probably going to be, like, so much... It's going to be so much higher, and then Uranus is going to be squaring it at a higher degree. If you or any loved ones have been victimized by Pluto, please call us at 1-800...
Yeah, it's like, you know, I think a lot of other people can totally feel that. Like, they also have their passport that says that they've had it stamped to hell. So if you've been victimized by Pluto, call us. Maybe we can help get you some. We're not going to help you. Just kidding. We've been fucked by Pluto too.
Well, we can talk about. We can talk about it. By the way, you know. Everything that, like, Venus is in the red carpet right now. I love the astrology right now, like with Venus kazeming and just think about it. Venus is traveling to the sun so that she can hurry up to Mars and smash Mars and just have the best passionate sex with Mars. And
Are they going to touch?
They're going to touch in Leo.
Oh, that's right.
Opposite Saturn retrograde.
Oh, it's going to be on my South Node, though. Talk about getting laid. I actually like Mars and Venus and Leo. I really like that energy because I feel like it's just...
Red carpet. It's going to be pizzazz.
Oh, I'm really looking forward to that. With the oppositions to Jupiter. When Jupiter comes back and it goes retrograde, when it goes in and out of Pisces. Jupiter and Pisces will be nice too. I think that's going to be a nice little change. And I think the further and further that Jupiter and Saturn get, the more that we're going to have travel and things that are going to open up a little bit more. So...
All right. And Venus catching up with the sextile is going to really bring up to speed... See, everything with Venus here is like new cycles of dynamic love, partnership, sex, rawness, raw sex, and it's like with Mars and Gemini.
I saw your raw sex posts. Right. I've seen those. That was raunchy even by a Sun, Pluto, and Scorpio standard.
Oh, word! I've been so desensitized now that like I don't even know what's raunchy anymore. And people are like, "Oh wow, this is a wild post," and I'm like, I don't even like. I'm just so gone right now. Like,
what was your post? It was like the last person that you had that type of
the last person you had raw sex with, you will marry. Or would you marry the last person you had raw sex with? Yes or no?
And you said yes.
I did say yes. Thankfully, you know, sex is weird for me. It's like ordained, but yes, I would. It was I would. Oddly enough too. But like, yeah, might as well.
I just laughed at that. I did not say anything. I just was like, this is fucking hilarious. Nobody wants to hear about my sex life. Guess what she had the same
sun and moon as?
Aquarius? No? Pisces? Scorpio?
We've met her before. Except instead of an Aries rising, she's a Sag rising.
I'm like going through my mental Rolodex of people you fucked. Hold on a second.
No. You haven't. No. I'm talking about. The last person who I.
Yeah, I know what you. Yep. I totally get where you're going with that.
Her sun and moon. She has the same sun and moon as someone we both know.
Oh. That's a hard pass.
Oh,
did you see the look on my face? Like, I immediately was like, yes.
That was the Aries moon right now. Oh.
Yeah, that's the grudges that I never let go of. There are very few people on my shit list, but God help those people, because anything and everything bad that's happened to you, you brought on yourself.
See, I don't want to gossip, but like, that's why I said oddly enough, because the same kind of antics and energy kind of came up too. Like, we were arguing, we were fighting. It's kind of like a Notebook kind of thing without the romance.
What's the point?
Right. I'm talking about. Okay, I don't want to say too much.
I love. What I will say is this, because I can speak on this. The axis of Scorpio and Taurus is very intense and psychotic and like passionate.
She had 12th house Venus in Scorpio. Like, like she was nuts, but in a good way,
12th
kind
house
of not
are
really.
really freaky good lovers.
Sexy though. Oh, she's sexy though. I'll say that.
Yeah, like 12th house Venus is like
talking
maybe they're drug dealers, maybe they're strippers or witches. Yeah, I'm kind of into that.
Witches. Yeah.
Whatever. Don't hate on the witches.
Oh my god.
You guys all want to laugh about shit until your house is on fire and your dog dies.
I
and
will
you're
say
calling,
that's the
asking
first
for
woman
forgiveness.
that I've ever. We were on shrooms, but that was the first woman I ever climaxed with without ever penetrating. Like I didn't even like bust too, but like I've never felt that before. I thought that was interesting.
She probably served you her period blood.
I mean,
I'm gonna be really honest with you.
We did a candle ritual together, but other than that, you know.
AKA, you sold your soul.
I did
to the witchy women.
And Capricorn is the devil, so.
I mean, those are the best. Those are the sexiest signs.
I cannot lie.
Well, we've talked about Mars. We've talked about Mike's sexual endeavors. We've talked about the future.
Please don't think I have a sex life. That was like years ago. It's usually a job.
Saturday night.
Right. It's just every now and then. Just like, I'll see you again in 2 or 3 years. But it's all good. I got my Saturn return, so that might actually change. Like I could probably, if I want to stop being a hermit and get out and talk to people, probably.
Well, yeah, because it's heading for your 9th, right? Or is it there yet?
It's there.
Oh, okay, cool.
Saturn's is in my 10th now.
Okay.
And I'm making boss moves.
And you're making Midheaven podcasts. We talked about that. All right.
It was awesome. That just kind of came.
Am I missing anything?
With the 10th house stuff?
No, just am I missing anything just to recap the Mars North Node stuff?
You know what? We didn't mention the Uranus semi-sextile. Because that's what's going to make what we're doing never before been done. And so this is that whole feeling where it's like, if you're too preoccupied with doing what is traditionally or socially acceptable versus what's unique to you, which what is unique to you might be repulsive to other people or different, you're going to really shortchange yourself. So yeah, I think that's the big message. Like,
wow, I didn't even really think about the semi-sextile like that.
Because it's never what you're doing has never before been done, so it can't be compared. So it's not going to be recognizable, and so that could initially, like many geniuses, bring a lot of like friction. And I was gonna say earlier, like, oh, I don't want to say too much, and I was about to say too much, so I'm glad I didn't say that. But other than that, like, this is. Which is so fascinating. Like, to literally have whatever is happening in the next 24 hours is going to change your life for the rest of your life.
Yeah, and just for like those of you guys who are into ritual and stuff, something that I did is I went and took like some dragon's blood resin and I grinded it down into like a powder. I mixed in some hops. I mixed in some chamomile for Mars, some lavender for Mercury. What else did I put in there? Couple other, I think some ginger, just some other like Mars and Mercury based herbs basically, with the intention of putting that on top of candles just to burn over the next couple days for intentions. Can be a really strong time to just take a piece of paper out, write down your intentions, not in the I am manifesting, it's the I am doing, because that's Mars. I am selling my book. I am moving to that city. I am getting married. I am buying the house. Whatever it is, talk about it in the I am, as in it's happening now. And definitely work with like incense and work with fire, whether you have a fire safe like little cauldron or a pot or even a candle, and write and speak those intentions out loud and really work with the North Node, because anything that you start, you agree to, you sign, anything like that has a lot of potency over the next 48 hours. So,
and once again, with the moon in Virgo, be so keenly receptive to details, because everything you think and everything you say real time will instantly open a door to act on. and you have to be aware it'll just go over your nose.
Things will come very fast. Like, it's already happening today. The next couple days, opportunities, phone calls, emails. Don't sleep on those opportunities that pop up, and pay attention to the synchronicities that you may find even in words, license plates, numbers, books, anything that Mercury comes through. Even a song on the radio can suddenly trigger something and make you realize, like, oh my God, this is really happening. I do have to go and do this thing. So, yeah, I hope you guys do it. We're going to talk more about magic and all that stuff, I'm sure, in the future, because Mike has a couple of questions for me. You have to see my apothecary cabinet. I just built everything out. I have, like, yeah, all the jars and everything's labeled and everything's ready to go. So maybe we'll do a I need a witch tour.
Wifey. I need a girlfriend or a wifey who's with the shits and is a witch, because I need to be put. I just want to come back home and she's dressing candles or like talking to Osha. Like, it's not necessary, right? But like, it's necessary.
Maybe we should create an application form for Mike to have a witchy woman girlfriend, and I will do interviews and determine who might be the best candidate.
The only thing about that is some women aren't like witches, right? Like, they might be materialistic, but they're still witches, right? Like, they don't do the traditional witchy stuff.
Girls tell you they're not doing it, but they're doing it. Even, like that's the thing about that energy and like feminine energy is like, we all have our weird little routines where we have like a little ritual or a morning ritual or how we organize things or putting things away. Some of us are more out of the broom closet than other people, right?
No,
we can find someone. I'm kind of into it. Maybe we can like create like a cult singles like speed dating or something. Wouldn't that be cool?
That would be genius.
Yeah. Well, there's just way too many witches and far too little warlocks out there. So we need them to show up.
Someone said men could be witches too, but I'm like, aren't they called wizards? But I don't know. I guess the wizard is
witches, warlocks, wizards. I kind of like warlocks. They're like the bad boys of the occult community.
Warlock sounds way more badass.
Except guys who can do magic freak me out because I don't know. I can't imagine like some guy like trying to get my hair and like putting it in a jar, or I don't know. That's kind of scares me. It's like especially with like the
Cancers and the Virgos too.
That's true, actually. That's really true.
They're nice with it.
Well, stay tuned for Mike's witchy girlfriend application. I'm sure that will be coming in a future episode. Thank you guys for tuning in, for sharing, subscribing. We're trying to get our subscribers up. So if you guys want to share this and if you want to, try to get your friends in on it, we're going to keep doing these weekly. How many lives we do, I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, we'll be back.
And thank you for tuning in and joining both of us.
Yeah, we had a good time. This was a good chat. And until next time, we will see you soon. Take care, guys.
Peace out.